Welcome to my YouTube channel, Try Camping. Recently I had a swim analysis performed and I wanted to share with you today the outcome of that. So without further ado, let's roll.
So let's play it and see what we got. First of all, when you push off under the water. So if you're standing on the floor, or well, if you're standing on the floor, it doesn't make much difference. Or if you're kind of just holding onto the wall, so you turn and face the way you're going, and then it's all kind of one action. So because your feet are like, I don't know, 3 feet deep, and then you push down underneath the water, but your feet only come up about a foot, so your feet are still about 2 feet deep. So all at the same time, you're pushing down, your legs are coming up,
Almost like a ball and rolling.
yeah, but you're kind of pushing forwards. You're not rolling up the ball. It's quite difficult to describe. It's easier to kind of show it. But effectively, you're pushing off 2 feet under the water. So you kind of, when you push off, you're kind of almost diving down to the same level as your feet, and then you push off and come up like that. So you're not going to you're not going to.
So much drag straight away at the start.
Yeah. So you're just trying to see where you're actually pushing. It's there, where your feet are. So I think what you're doing is you're doing the right thing, but you're just bringing your feet right to the surface and pushing off from the surface. Either that. No, what I suspect you're doing is you're pushing off up,
Yeah,
rather than having a good down and pushing down, like aiming a couple of feet underneath the water.
that picture shows it. The angle of it already pushing upwards that way.
Yeah, because it's much more effective, much more efficient for you to be under the water. It's much more drag on the surface of the water. So you'll automatically come up faster and further. So you'll get down the length quicker. So anyway, so you're pushing off. You got a glide there, which is fine, but that glide should just be all underwater. The whole thing should be underwater. All right, so see what's happening with these recoveries. All right, so you see how low your recovery over the water is? It's barely covering the water. So there's very little height there. If you have a little height, bearing in mind what I want you to do is I want you to veer into the water at an angle like this. You can't
high and winning like that.
Exactly.
If I'm low, I'm always
pushing along.
Yeah.
Kind of, and you see it all the time. People come in really shallow and they go bang,
Yeah.
and the whole arm comes in together. And then all you can do at that point is push down. So we want to get a little bit more height, come in at a steeper angle, not ridiculously steep, but just so you're gonna shoot about 12 inches underneath the water at full extension, and then your elbow's in the right place for you to take a catch from.
Would it help if I was rotated a bit more away from that?
Yeah, exactly. So, because I think you're can't really see from this angle, but I don't think you're rotating very much at all. So, of course, if you don't rotate, then unless you've got hypermobile shoulders,
it's always going to be low, isn't it?
You ain't going to be able to get your arms up. So, and then you can see your upper arm hits similar to Jonathan. Actually, your upper arm hits the water first, then your hand comes in. So effectively, the whole arm is coming in together there. Look. And then on the left side,
sorry, but might just be the angle.
Yeah, the left side's a little bit higher. But there you go. Upper arm is in the water first. So the upper arm should be in the water last, and the hand should be in the water first. Then you're breathing. So there's a little bit more height when you're breathing, because you're breathing, you're rotating more.
Yeah.
So same thing though.
Same thing. In at the same time already.
Yeah. So So let's have a look underneath the water. Okay, so you haven't got buoyancy shorts on, have you?
No.
Do you ever use them?
No.
Yeah. Do you use pull buoy much?
I can use a pull buoy.
Yeah. Let's just have a look. Yeah, because your legs aren't really doing anything at all, which is you want to have a bit of a, because we don't promote, because the type of swimming that we're doing for triathletes, we don't promote a hard kick. It's not about propulsion, it's about balance. So, but at the very least, you want the kick to be doing the opposite of the hands. So there is a corner to corner going on.
Down on the left leg as you pull him back with the right arm.
Yeah. So they're both down at the same time, in opposite corners. And then it balances you up. Yeah. Does that make sense? If you do fins on, you have fins on, because again, it increases the proprioception in the feet. Down, down. And literally you go bang, 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 bang. Just so as you've got a little bit of motion there. Otherwise, your legs are just bobbing along behind you. So what I suggest for you, because ultimately what we want to do is we want to improve the propulsion. Because there isn't much propulsion there, you're losing momentum and you're sitting a bit lower in the water. So that it's a bit of like it's a bit of a vicious circle. Yeah. So we need to do whatever it is we can to improve your propulsion, because that will make you go faster, that will make you go higher in the water, and then the whole thing will get easier. So, pull buoy, swim with the pull buoy, and we'll have a look at the catch in a minute. Consider getting some buoyancy shorts. So, you know what they are.
Yeah, read and seen and everything, and just thought, do I really need them? Got what to do? Then
it's a training aid.
Yeah,
it's a training aid. To think of it as a training aid, because it's a bit like having a pull buoy, but it means you can still kick. Bearing in mind, we're trying to get you to learn to kick. We don't want to switch the kick up on the pull buoy.
Yeah,
which is what the pull buoy will do. It will just keep it all together. Yeah. So, and actually very similar to Jonathan. So you've got kind of a bit of a curve up here at the front, and very general. Your position in the water is a little bit low. So if you draw a line along the lane right there, look, you've got a very general kind of downward position in the water. And because you're in the downward position, it's like if you're like that in the water, how it's not possible for you to come up and spear in because you're in this position. So
yes.
So you're kind of almost into your whole position needs to be gone like that.
My spearing end's in the air up there.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
That's the angle of that.
So we need to get you up
at the back end, really.
Get all this up so that your whole body goes like that. And then we've got half a chance of getting over the top and spearing into the right position. And then we can improve your catch. And then you go faster. And then your body position will be better because you're going faster. So it's all a bit kind of chain reaction, if you know what I mean. So
Spoke like it went from there across the middle as if I needed a bit of balance.
It's on.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of having a look to see what's going on at the moment, but you can see Anita's the opposite leg, left arm, right leg down. See, that's okay, provided that stayed where it was, and then that went like that, then like that, then like that, like that, like that. So it went like that, and then broke. But what it's doing is it's all coming down together, the whole arm, like that. And that means you're pushing water here when we want to push water that way. And of course, pushing water down lifts this up.
Puts the legs down.
Which puts the legs down, yeah. So, and again, I might show you. So Rebecca Adlington, she's pretty good at swimming. So, it's not in the right place. So here. See, there's that bit. There's you're in slightly different positions, but effectively that's where we are the same. So both arms at full extension. Yours kind of comes down, the whole arm comes down.
She's going to bring hand down.
Hers, you can kind of pin, ignore the arrow, do a line. Kind of pin the upper arm there. See the forearm, see the forearm? So she now has this really good paddle here. All of this is pushing backwards. And then on the left side, breaks there. It's not quite so obvious. Sometimes the perspective throws it out, but there's a definite break at that point. And then she's pulling, she's using her upper arm to push back with as well. And this actually needs a load of flexibility. So imagine she's breathing, to breathe and extend and still to be able to get over the top. That's why swimmers need a lot of flexibility in the back and shoulders. Otherwise, you just kind of go like that in the water. So she's got a slightly lower elbow look, so her hand is slightly up, which is technically it's a bit of a kind of a fault. But she can she can still.
Yeah, she corrects it right. So.
I mean, that takes a lot of flexibility, and you're probably not going to be able to do that. So what you need to do is you need to try and spear in directly to that position to start your catch there. The more flexible you are, if you're really flexible, you can start your catch here. If you're not flexible, you'd start your catch here. So you'd spear in deeper. Doesn't need as much flexibility. Okay. So what you need to do is pull boy in, get your bum up, put your head in, look a little bit further down, and again, like says Jonathan, press the chest in a bit. You've got to try and get those legs up.
Is it almost back the opposite way, so you're pushing chest down?
So you're almost kind of pressing the chest down and the shoulders kind of back a little bit. So you're not just kind of going ooh like that. You're actually just kind of just leaning into the water. But again, stand in the shallow end and just push off. Just push and glide, and just kind of rock. Just see what happens when you press your chest down into the water. Your legs will come up the surface. And then it's a bit like I always think it's a bit like a kayak. Kayak sits right on the surface. It actually doesn't take a huge amount of propulsion to make it go. If the kayak sitting like that in the water, it ain't going to go anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
You know? So objective number one is to try and get a little bit lower in the water at the front end to let the legs drift up, rotate a bit more, and then we're going to try and spear in at greater height, a little bit deeper, and then it should
spear in, stretch out a bit further.
Mm-hmm. So it comes in here, and then extend out. But you're not extending out this way because you'll drop. So you're extending, so you'll come over.
Same angle as some spearing.
Similar angle, yeah. Because you want to keep that elbow up. That's why we do sculling, because we want to keep the elbow up. Get used to being in this kind of position, and almost that comes from the shoulders as well. And that's why you can use stretch forward. So stretch bands, put a stretch band around a post, hold it with each hand, and then just kind of extend the shoulders, shrug, and the shrug is what brings the elbows up, and just use the band and just pull like this. You've got to be used to being in like a shrugging position. Otherwise, you see people kind of like it's the opposite. We don't want to be elbow leading. We want to be hand leading.
So just forward or backwards?
Forwards.
Mm-hmm. And try and put head in the similar position as you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So That's the objective for you. Yeah. So you've got a pull buoy, so you can start straight away with a pull buoy. At some point, get some buoyancy shorts to try that. Do some. You can't keep the pull buoy in, so you're gonna have to do it without for now. But just try and kick. Do normal swimming and just be more conscious of what's going on. Just do a 2-beat kick, that, and that might actually get your back end up a little bit automatically. Yeah. Rotate more, spear in deeper, and then that will do for now. Because if you're spearing deeper, your catch will be better already without thinking about your catch, because you'll be in a better position to take a catch.
Start with,
And that's enough for you to think about for now.
Yeah, you said I don't want too much. That's been the problem when I look at it. No, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this.
No, keep it simple.
I just want to stop doing one at a time.
They're the big. Yeah, you got to go for the big wins, because it's a chain. So it's a chain reaction with swimming. There's no point you working on your body position. There's no point you working on. There's no point working on the quality of the catch if you're setting up the catch wrong. You've got to set it up right first. Give yourself half a chance of actually getting it right. All right?
Yeah.
Things to think about, yeah. But you can, and again, remember, if you swim consistency 2 or 3 times a week, ideally. All right. And I was going to say, what's my train of thought now? But yeah, 3 times a week, and work on these elements. Oh yes, and time yourself 100, 200, 400, so you know exactly where you are. And then you know, okay, my sprinting is improving, but my endurance isn't. Therefore, I need to do more endurance work.
Do that every couple of weeks, 3 weeks?
Do it every month, every 4 weeks. Yeah, you do it any more than that, too much, because you waste a whole session just doing testing all the time. But do it once a month.